Ay, kabayo ka.
Lead me, Lord, lead me by the hand and help me face the rising sun. Comfort me through all the pain that life may bring. There's no other hope that I can lean upon. Lead me, Lord, lead me all my life. Walk by me across the lonely roads that I may face. Take my arms and let your hand show me the way. Show the way to live inside your heart. All my days, all my life, you are my light. You're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my light. I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life. Lead me, Lord. Lead me, Lord. Even though at times I'd rather go alone my way, help me take the right direction, take your road. Lead me, Lord, and never leave my side. All my days, all my life, you are my light. You're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my light. I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life. You are my light. You're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my light. I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life, all through my days. Oh, lead me, oh Lord. Oh, lead me, Lord.
Good morning, dear teachers, and happy Saturday po sa ating lahat. Welcome to our second day of our 3-day program. Full day po tayo today. We have a morning session, which will start in a few minutes, and we also have an afternoon session. Few reminders lang po before we start with our session this morning. Unang-una po yung ating attendance link for session 2 is up on our FB group page. So kindly accomplish that po. Whether you're tuned in here sa ating Zoom platform at para din po sa mga naka-tune in naman sa ating YouTube streaming via the FB group page. Of course, by this time po, sana na-download na po natin ang ating assessment tool, yung Word file po that we posted yesterday on our FB group page. Hindi pa po yan isasubmit. Kahapon po, sinagutan na natin yung ating first assessment all about the online classroom. Pero hindi pa po isasubmit. Hold on to it po as we go on from one session to the next. So after the fourth session, dun pa lang po natin isasubmit. Of course, our membership link is still up on our FB group page. For those of you who would like to become members of the i.LEAD family, kindly check out the link po posted on our FB group page. So, ang cut-off po natin yan ay 5 p.m. today so that we can prepare your certificates and send it, of course, with the certificates for this program. So, yun po yung ating mga reminders for today. Hold on lang po while we introduce our session for this morning. So, kahapon po, we were introduced to the advantages, disadvantages, possibilities, limitless possibilities, and of course, meron din pong mga konting mga issues with using the online classroom. But like we discussed yesterday with Sir Jopo, it's something that we cannot set aside completely, even as we go full face-to-face. For our session today, this morning, we're going to move on naman po, talking about scenario-based learning, the science of decision-making, cognition, and the importance of storytelling in learning. So kahit anong subject po ang tinuturo natin, kahit anong grade level, napakagandang strategy po nito. Also, not only to catch the attention of our learners, but also to develop higher order thinking skills na napakahalaga po para sa ating mga learners. Stories play a great role in the development of cognition, as through a story, a child's mental processes of imagination, logic, and thought progression is enhanced. Stories also end with valuable lessons in morals as well as in decision making as the listener grapples with its rational development. The science and importance of these concepts are taught in this session. So yan po ang ating pag-aaralan this morning. Our expected learning outcomes include, first is to discuss the principles and science on which scenario-based learning is based, and to focus on the virtual story as a methodology of teaching and learning. Yan po. Our assessment for session 2 for proficient teachers. So again po, pag proficient teacher po tayo, nandun po tayo sa beginning level, teacher 1, 2, and 3, you're asked a presentation of one application of scenario-based learning strategy to a specific subject area and grade level. So pwede na po nating pag-isipan ito sa ating sariling tinuturong subject and sa grade level po na tinuturuan natin. And then for the highly proficient teachers, those are master teachers up, you're asked to critique and evaluate, to provide a critique and evaluation of the proposed use of scenario-based learning strategy to a specific subject area and grade level. So kung may naiisip po kayong magiging problema or issue, you can provide a critique and then, of course, provide how we can address these issues. To help us achieve our learning outcomes for this morning, we have with us Dr. Mia Torres de la Cruz, who holds a PhD in Educational Management. She specializes in research, information and communications technology, or ICT, educational technology, mathematics, statistics and physics, green ICT sustainability. She's currently a researcher and educator and consultant at Infinite Dynamic Minds International, research and consultations at Negeri Sembilan in Malaysia, and at Sairam Institute of Management at Sairam Engineering College at Sai Leo Nagar in India. Ladies and gentlemen, dear teachers, let's welcome our speaker for this morning, Doc Mia. Good morning po.
Good morning, everyone. Looks like it's a beautiful morning anywhere we are, no? So, good morning po. Today we are going to discuss scenario-based learning. Okay po. So, thank you, Ma'am Ria, for having me here. Okay, so let me share my screen. May I share my screen na po?
Go ahead po.
Okay. All right.
Yan, visible po.
Okay, thank you. Let me run. Okay, sorry. All right. So before we start working on scenario-based learning, kasi we are going to develop scenario-based learning later on, let us first discuss what it is all about. So what are the things that we need to know about scenario-based learning? Okay, so quoting Seymour Papert, he said that you can't teach people everything they need to know. The best you can do is position them where they can find what they need to know when they need to know it. So, yun po ang sabi ni Seymour Papert. Okay, moving on, let us discuss what is scenario-based learning. So, scenario-based learning po is the use of interactive scenarios to support active learning strategies. So we have 3 learning strategies using scenario-based learning. Yung una po is problem-based learning. Ito po yung sa sciences, di ba? So in problem-based learning, we make use of problems. We make use of problems so that we are able to teach our students. We are able to teach students through problems. So may problema. What are we going to do about it? And then the second one is case-based learning. Most of the time, we use this in social sciences. Social sciences naman po. So we have a case study, and then we study the case. No, we analyze the case, and then our students will be learning from it. And we have collaborative learning. This one is all levels, all areas. No, we collaborate, we partner with someone else so that we will be able to learn. Okay, so those are some learning strategies that support scenario-based learning. So scenario-based learning, or SBL, no, involves students working their way through a storyline. So ibig sabihin, meron po tayong stories. We are going to use stories in scenario-based learning. And it is very good. No, it's a very good strategy, or very good learning process for solving unstructured or problems that are not structured, or there we have complex problems. So when we have complex problems, we make use of SBL. So yun po ang ating definition. Marami pa po tayong definition, pero ito po this is my question, no? Have you ever used stories in teaching your students? I-testing nga po natin yung testing natin yung reactions natin. Okay. So for those who have used stories in teaching their students, can you give me a heart na lang, para yung heart po. Okay? Sige po. Can you give me a heart kung nagamit na po natin ang stories, kung nakapagkwento tayo sa mga estudyante natin? Go ahead po. Ayan. Ayan, marami na po akong nakitang heart, no? So, yes, this is sabi nga natin, this is not new. We have already used stories. Nakapagkwento na tayo. Di po ba? In fact, it is a good strategy sa ating mga estudyante. We do tell stories to our students all the time, hindi ho ba? So we tell stories to our students to make a point, hindi ho ba? This is where we start. In fact, when we start, this is where we start when we teach our children sa mga anak nga natin, di po ba? At night we tell them stories, no? And then dun sa end, binibigyan natin sila ng moral of the story. Yung lesson dun sa story na sinabi, na kwento natin, di ba? So, mula nung mga bata tayo, when we were children, we do use stories already to make a point or to tell or to give lessons. So, hindi na ho siya bago. Scenario-based learning is based, we base this on stories that we tell our students. However, meron ho tayong structure dyan. We do have structures in scenario-based learning so that we target the outcome that we want to yung the desired outcome that we want, no? So, moving on, in scenario-based learning, students would apply their subject knowledge, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills in a safe real-world context. So, ibig sabihin nito, yung mga estudyante po natin, i-apply na nila yung knowledge nila, yung natatagong kaalaman, no? Natatagong kaalaman nila, or the ones that they have already they have already learned. And then they will also use critical thinking and their problem-solving skills in a situation na hindi sila talaga masasabak sa real world. Sabi nga natin, sa reality. So it's like simulation, parang simulation siya, no? So it is often non-linear, no? Often non-linear, ibig sabihin hindi siya diretso, and it can provide numerous feedback opportunities to students. So they can give us feedback, they can ask questions, they can give their own opinions, and then these are based on the decisions that they make, no? At each stage in the process. So during the scenario, they already know, they already have decision making. They already do decision making in every stage. It says here in the third paragraph, it may be self-contained. Maybe self-contained. It means that they would complete a scenario. That's the task that they are supposed to do. Or it may be the first part of a larger assignment. Pwede siyang part lang siya ng isang larger assignment to complete the scenario. For example, when we make when we give lessons to our students, sometimes we have one task, no? My performance task siya, and then that is only part of the whole, no? Part of the whole lesson or the whole course. They would provide written or oral reflection and self-assessment on the process. Yan. So, familiar ho ba sa atin ito? Isn't this familiar? Yung po bang pinabasa nyo sila ng, let's say, sa Philippine literature. Ano po ba ang pinapabasa natin sa Philippine literature? Yung Ibong Adarna, di ba? So papabasa ho natin yung Ibong Adarna, and then at the end of that reading assignment, we ask them to reflect, or we ask them to discuss, no? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin in the contemporary times, no? Anong ibig sabihin ng ibong Adarna? Yung mga ganun po, no? So it is how do you call this? It is already being done before. Ini-streamline lang ho natin, pinapangalanan lang ho natin ng scenario-based learning. Ano po, no? Tapos, moving on. Okay, we have a checklist in using SBL. No? According to Clark, sabi niya, these are the things that we need to ask. No? Ask ourselves whether we will be using SBL or not. No? So number 1, are the outcomes based on skills development or problem solving? Ito ba ay pag-develop ng kanilang skills or problem solving? O problem solving skills ba siya? No? Pangalawa, is it difficult or unsafe to provide real-world experience of the skills? O di po ba during the pandemic, no? During the pandemic, it was unsafe to go out for, assuming field trip, di ba? Difficult to go out on a field trip. So, pwedeng mag-SPL na lang tayo. Ano, no? So, yun, pangalawang question, difficult ba or unsafe ba to provide real-world experience of the skills? Yan. Number 3, do your students already have relevant knowledge to aid decision-making? Do they already have a previous lesson on this? Do they have a backgrounder on the lesson that we are going to give? Number 4, do you have time and resources to design, develop, and test an SBL approach? Were you given the time? Were you given the opportunity? And were you given the resources to design, develop, and test an SBL approach? Example, if you're going to create a virtual interactive SBL, no, SBL material, do you have the equipment? Do you have the network, no, in order to develop and design and develop the lesson? Number 5, will the content and skills remain relevant for long? Ibig sabihin, is it sustainable, no? Is it sustainable enough to justify the development of SBL? So these are the checklists that we need to use, no, to identify whether to use SBL or not. Next. Okay. Ano ho ba ang effect ng scenario-based learning to the learning process? Okay. So ang SBL po, motivating. Hindi ho ba kapag nagkukwento yung ating teacher, nakaka-motivate, interesting din siya, no? Especially kapag minsan yung mga teachers natin, okay, or tayo, we tell stories about our experiences. So our students would be interested. They would also be motivated. It is relevant and relatable. Nakaka-relate sila. No? Our students would be would relate to the stories or to the scenario. It is also experiential. Ibig sabihin, when we are telling our stories, we are telling them the experience, it's like they are also already experiencing the scenario. And it is memorable. According to studies, when lessons are being taught in stories, merong storyline, no? It is more it is retentive, no? Nare-retain sa mga minds ng ating learners. And it is continuous. And so these are the effects of SBL to learning. Okay, so we go to advantages of scenario-based learning. Okay. Okay, advantages of scenario-based learning. Number one, so scenario-based learning would offer a learner-centric approach. Okay, so I don't know if you have already, if you were already, if you went through yung tinatawag po nating learner-centered, okay, learner-centered approach or learner-centered education, no? So sabi natin ang student-centered or learner-centered education, ito yung one of the most effective learning procedure for a student to retain, no, information or to be able to learn better, no? So SBL is one of the strategies where we can say that it is learner centric, no, or student centered siya. So in what way can we say that it is learner centric? So in SBL, learners are trained to transfer their learning to the real life, no? So they already relate whatever is being taught to them. They already relate to real life or to the workplace. They are being taught how to apply the acquired skills in a real life situation or job situation or even social situation, rather than just giving them the theoretical, the theories, no, the theoretical information. So in scenario-based learning, we give them what is real already, no? Minsan parang simulation siya of the real thing, but it is relatable already to the real life. Second, it shows the consequences of failure. Yan po. Yung bang situations where what if, okay, what if we do this? This will happen, no? What if we fail? This is what will happen. Okay. So it will show the things that the consequences when there is failure. So when failure occurs, what will happen? It will be shown, no? It will be given. So every wrong step, no? Every wrong step that will be taken, it will also be shown. So the learner will now see what happens if a wrong step was taken or a mistake or a failure happens, no? So the student will have the opportunity to know why they are wrong. So they will see that, okay, this thing failed. So why? No? Why did it fail? So they will see why. This situation, okay, this situation will give them, no, will give them the the lesson that if they do or they commit similar mistakes in the future, they will know what to do. Ganun po, no? So SBL will show the consequences of failure. Kasi nga naman in SBL, whether you fail or not, nothing will happen, no? Nothing will happen. Nothing real will happen. Po, no? So in SBL, there is a promotion of critical thinking. Nagkikritik tayo, no? So scenarios will put brains to work, thinking of various plausible scenarios such as what, who, how, and why. Ito yung sitwasyon, no? By the way, sabi nga natin, there are stories that would really give us lessons or that would make us think. Yan. Isang kwento po na familiar ho tayo yung yung I forgot yung probinsyano, ayan, ang tagal-tagal nun po, no? Ang tagal-tagal na. People already start criticizing the story, no? So, yun nga, sabi natin, a lot of stories would either give us lessons or would make us think, or yeah, sometimes it would touch our emotions, ganyan, or it would make us either feel good, feel bad, or angry. Hindi ho ba? So, um, the SBL, parang ganun din po, no? SBL, these are designed to um, whet yung thinking of the student. So it would promote critical thinking. Students would criticize, no? They would critique the story. They would give their own opinion about the story. So ayun po, no? This is an advantage in teaching our students. Ayan. The next one, it engages with relevant context. Okay, so relevant, sabi dito, look at the picture, it says here, relevant context matters. Scenario-based learning programs are based on situations which students face every day. They are typical events in their future work or future environment. So, yung mga pwede nilang daanan later on, no? Or the situations that they will face later on. So, yun, yung context, the context of the situations are real life. What are the benefits of using scenario-based learning? Okay, number one, it can be effective for students to see how they are going to use the theory and concepts that are provided them. Okay, so sometimes when we discuss theories to our students, we tell a story and then we ask them, oh, how was the theory? How was the theory applied in the scenario or in the story, diba? Next, participating in scenario-based learning can motivate students to seek knowledge as they try to solve a problem or make a decision. So in some of our stories, some of our case studies, we have a problem to solve, no? Or the problem has already been solved, and then we ask them, how was it solved? Or in a situation, okay, if you are in the situation, what will you do? Ganon, no? So we ask them to make decisions in the story. The third one, instead of pushing information to students, SBL creates a need for the students to pull that information. So instead of spoon feeding, no, giving the students, okay, this is what you should do. No, in SBL, we ask them to find the information that would fit into the situation or that would solve the problem. Di ba? So, in your own lessons or in your own subjects, saan ho ba tayo gumagamit ng stories? So, either problem-based stories or case studies or yung mga collaborative stories. Saan ho ba tayo gumagamit? Siguro po, let's ask some of our participants to tell their story also. Yan. Anyone who can give their experiences in using stories in their lessons. Si Sir Ryan. Okay, Sir Ryan sa literature daw. Sir Ryan, can you tell a story Can you give us your experience in telling stories as part of our lesson? So Ryan?
Hello,
Ah,
ma'am. Good evening.
yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry. Good morning.
Good morning po.
Sorry, I'm not feeling well today. But anyway,
Ah, hope you feel
yeah.
fine soon, sir.
You asked a while ago with regards to in what particular subject that we are telling story to our learners, and I think the best subject that we can integrate story is literature, especially when you are teaching English. That's for Philippine literature for English 7. Um, I think Afro-Asian for grade 8 and grade 9 and grade 10. So I think that's the um best avenue to tell stories. And in telling story, it is very important that students are guided with what they have to expect in the story, and so that once you are telling the story, there's also eagerness from their mind. And I think that's important aspect once we are um teaching literature to our students. And that's the experience that I had with my students in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Ryan, for the sharing. Okay, we have one more, Ma'am Christine. Ma'am Christine.
Sa akin naman po nung sa science class ko po, nag-ano po ako, discuss po ako ng lunar eclipse. In-integrate ko po yung story ng alamat ng Bakunawa kasi merong Philippine myth dun sa Bakunawa na kinakain niya yung buwan na related po sa eclipse.
Oh, that's very nice. Sana naging teacher kita, Ma'am Christine. Because I want to know about that story also. Thank you, Ma'am Christine. Yes, so we can integrate, no? We integrate stories in our subjects, even when it is not it's not obviously for storytelling. Like for example, mathematics or sciences, ganun po, no? Yung mga hard sciences, sometimes para sa atin parang hindi yata appropriate. Is it appropriate to tell a story during this discussions of topics that are yung sa tingin natin hindi siya appropriate. Pero we are changing our teaching methods po, no? Even the subjects that we have been teaching before that are purely theoretical, we already changed this into something that would be more kumbaga mas acceptable or mas madaling maintindihan ng ating mga estudyante. So we have heard some two of our participants who have used stories in their teaching process. Okay, we also have other benefits. It is appropriate. Okay, scenario-based learning is appropriate when educators want to apply their knowledge and critical thinking skills to make decisions, solve problems, and explore issues. No? So when we have topics where there are opportunities, okay, to use our critical thinking skills, like making decisions, problem solving, and other like solving issues, these kinds of situations, it is very appropriate to use scenario-based learning. So the technique can also be used throughout an online course. Yes. So yung pandemic po, in the past 2 years, dito po kasi naging uso ang scenario-based learning because we cannot go out. We cannot show our students the real world. So we made use of scenario-based learning in online courses. Then another benefit is asking students to apply concepts to realistic situations. Okay, so we have concepts, we have theories, and then we ask them to apply this in situations where of which they may face later on. So here, this would reinforce what they have learned, no? What concepts they have learned in the course, and then it would increase the likelihood that it would be retained into their minds, no? It would the retention would be higher because of this. Key benefits. Okay, these are the key benefits of SPL. First, it creates sticky learning experiences. Yun nga sabi natin, the retention is higher when we make use of scenario-based learning. It facilitates problem solving in learners. So students would acquire more problem solving skills. It would provide guided exploration to learners. So we allow them to explore, but we also guide them in the exploration. It provides a safe practice zone to gain proficiency and mastery. Just like simulations po, no? There are times when real situations would provide unsafe or hazardous situations, no? So with the SBL, the lessons, no, the stories would be safe. It's a safe practice zone. It allows learners to make mistakes. Yan po. Dahil nga scenario-based siya or parang simulation siya, even if they make mistakes, nothing will happen. However, they will learn from that mistake. They will see what will happen if mistakes would occur. So through feedback, it would reinforce the right approach. And here we have the benefit. One benefit is it will reinforce primary messaging. Okay, so why scenario storytelling is important in learning? It inspires purposeful talking and not just about the story. There are many games that you can play. Yan po. So one way of pushing scenario-based learning is through games, no? Yung gamification tawag natin. It would raise the enthusiasm for reading text to find stories, reread them, etc. So kasi nga po ngayon, di ba, our students are not much on reading books anymore. Hindi kagaya ho nung generation namin, no? Generation namin. May mga ka-generation siguro po ako sa inyo dyan, no? Where from very young age we were encouraged to read, no? Our parents would buy books for entertainment books, no? Mga Christmas gifts namin noon, to birthday gifts, mga libro. If they want to contain us in one place, they will give us books, no? To encourage us to read. Pero ngayon po kasi napakadami ng ways to entertain our children, no? Our young ones. Medyo nasiset aside na yung pagre-read ng libro. Well, with scenario-based storytelling, it could encourage them, no? It would encourage them to read more text, to read more books, to find stories, and then they're able to read them again, read them and then reread them again, and those things. And then storytelling is important, or scenario storytelling is important because it would initiate writing. It would improve their writing skills. So children will quickly write their own stories. No? They will write their own stories. They would tell them. They would share them also to their peers or to their teachers. No? So yun po yung effect, no? The effect of scenario storytelling. I will tell my story and you also tell your story. Parang ganun, there's sharing of stories. So children would start writing their own stories, or they would, even if they would not write, they would think about a story, no? Yung nag-iimbento na sila minsan, no, ng story para lang meron silang masabi. Meron din silang maikwento, mai-share. Yan. So it also enhances the community in the room. Yung magkakaroon yan ng sharing, magkakaroon ng yung understanding, magkakaroon ng harmony, with each other. So it will also improve listening skills. So when one tells a story and it is very interesting, people would listen and it would improve their listening skills. Okay, okay. I think the statement, it really engages the boys who love acting. I'm sorry. I think this one is a bit. I think all na to, no? The children. Okay, it really engages children who love acting. This is also enjoyed by children from kindergarten to the end of elementary school. It gives a motivating reason for language learners to speak and write the language. Yan po, no? So when our students would learn English, for example, when they start learning English, when they listen to English stories, it would also motivate them to learn the language. Hindi ho ba, sino ho sa inyo ang nanonood ng K-drama? Ayan. Raise your hand lang po. No? Those who watch K-drama po. I watch K-drama during, when we try to relax, hindi ba? O si Ma'am Ria rin po, si Ma'am Christine. Yan. Hindi ho ba? When we watch K-drama, nakikita, nababasa ho natin yung subtitles. Sometimes we want to learn. We want to learn the language. Yung kahit napakonti-konti lang, yung pali-pali, yung mga ganyan, anyong haseyo. Ganun lang po, it would motivate us to learn the language. There was a time na, generation ko na naman po, no? There was a time when Spanish dramas were also the trend, no? Yung I forgot the title of this Spanish dramas, yung Marimar. Yan. Alam ko yung mga bata-bata dyan, hindi nyo na po naabutan yung Marimar, no? Pero kami no, we watch Marimar, and Marimar is a Spanish drama, no? Alam nyo po, nako, talagang pinag-aaralan din ho namin ang Spanish. No? So stories would motivate people to learn languages also, no? So yun. So what are the strategies for scenario-based learning? Yan. Una po, simulations. Yan. So simulations would imitate the real situation. Hindi ho ba? So when we simulate, for example, ano ba yung mga sinasimulate natin? We simulate industrial processes sometimes. No po? So simulations are scenarios that imitate a situation of processes with strong and relevant context for the simulation that mirrors the way learners will use this knowledge and skill in the real world. So we imitate the real thing, no? We imitate the real thing. Bakit po ba nagkakaroon ng simulation? In industry, no? Sa industry po, nagsasimulate tayo because the real situation may be difficult to go through, or it may be unsafe, it may be hazardous. So we make use of simulation so that we are able to go through the process, no? We are able to go through the process without being in the real situation. However, simulations mostly, no? Simulations are being used in industry, in sciences, and especially, no, in information technology, sa AI, ganyan po, no? Ginagamit natin ang simulation. But we can still use simulations in a lower scale, no? Low-level simulations for our classroom teaching. Then we have branching. So this is another strategy, no, of SBL. So what is branching? Branching is interactive form of learning. It would challenge the learner, requires them to make a decision and present the consequences. So each consequence produces new challenges and more choices. As the learner makes decisions, the story unfolds in unpredictable way, and then the student will be making learning interaction engaging and fun. Ang isang example po dito, when you were children, meron ho ba kayong game na, or actually it was we had this book before na ikaw ang mamili ng ending mo. Choose the ending. No? We have books like that before. For the younger ones naman, meron po tayong mga interactive games, no? There are interactive games where you go through the story, pero somewhere in the story, it will ask you to choose. For example, if you face branching, no, or yung dalawang road kunwari. So which way would you go? This way or this way? So pag pinili mo ito, meron na namang ibang stories dyan, tapos may mga decision ka ulit na gagawin, gano'n, no? So some interactive stories would be like that. In our case before, no, meron kaming libro na gano'n. So kapag ang pinili mo this road, for example, then go to page 53, gano'n. Tapos babasahin mo na yung page 53, tapos meron ka na namang mga decision na gagawin doon. Are you going to accept or are you going to reject? So if you're going to accept, then go to page 90 plus. Yung mga ganun. We have that before already, and that's branching. Yun yung tinatawag nating branching. You ask your students or your learner to choose, no? Ask your learner to choose. Tapos when they choose one branch, there will be different situations with that of the other choice. Ganun po, no? So branching po ang tawag natin doon. Then we have virtual environments. Okay. So virtual environments, of course, this one is in with the use of the computer. So virtual environments mimic as closely as possible the full context of a task, a set of tasks, or the job. Learners can practice making choices and applying their learning on a continuous basis as they will in the real world. So have you heard of virtual reality po? Or have you experienced virtual reality? Sino po sa inyo ang naka-experience na ng virtual reality games? O sige, games na lang. Kasi usually ngayon ang virtual reality, we use it for games. Yung pong VR device, meron po kayong VR device? Na-try nyo na po yon? Siguro nakita nyo po sa mga television shows, yung bang meron siyang VR device to ganyan, tapos nagsisigaw siya. No? Kasi po, that is virtual environment. They are going through, sabihin na natin, a story or a scenario where it is very close to real. Kaya minsan yung sa virtual reality games, no po, when they fall, parang nahuhulog ka na rin, no? Kasi that's the effect of virtual environment. It would mimic or it would imitate the situation as real as possible, but it is on sabihin na natin computer. Ayun po, no? So yan, we have virtual environments. This afternoon, we will be discussing virtual scenario-based learning, and we will have some examples of virtual environments po. Yan. So anyway, here we have virtual environments which we can use in teaching our students. And there's a new technology, we call it the augmented reality. We use it also for it is very similar to virtual reality, pero iba po yung anyway, we will show you this afternoon po yung new technologies for virtual and augmented environments. And of course, we have gamification, where we make use of games. No? We use games to teach our students. We apply the elements of game playing to different classroom tasks so that the learners will learn, and at the same time they would be having fun. So this is very popular now, no? Kasi nga sabi natin, it is at at this time and age, our students are more, sabihin na natin, mobile, di ba? Mas ano po sila ngayon, mas how do you describe them? Parang they cannot stay on one place for a long time, no? Marami sa kanila ang they are more, yun nga po, mas ano sila, yung mas I cannot think of the word. What's that word ba? Yung para silang kiti-kiti, magulo sila. Their attention span is very short. So to catch their attention or to keep them in one place, we have to use strategies that would keep them there. So one of these strategies is gamification. Again, I will be showing you later on different games that we can use, yung tinatawag nating virtual scenario games naman po, no? Ayan. And then we have concept maps. Concept maps are visual representations of information. Okay. So may mga charts tayo, we have graphic organizers, meron tayong mga flow charts, okay, Venn diagrams. So these are concept maps. We make use of concept maps so that they learn better. Okay. Some of our students are more visual. They learn better through visual materials, no? So concept maps are very important to use for students who learn more visually. So, di ba we have different types of learners po. Meron tayong visual, meron tayong auditory, tactile, mga ganun po, no? For concept maps are used to teach or to help, no, students who are more visually inclined. Ano po ba yung mga concept maps na po pwede nating gamitin in parang storytelling way, no? We have infographics. We make use of infographics. Yun na po yung pinapagawa natin sa mga bata. Okay, you tell a story, you create infographics, and you will be surprised. Ang galing-galing po nilang gumawa ng mga infographics. Our students are very talented, very creative when they are asked to use or they are asked to create infographics. Yung pong meron din tayong in some subjects like we have MIL, for example, yung media information and literacy, media and information literacy po. Ano pinapagawa ho natin sila ng yung mga stories, they are able to create stories through yung charts. They create charts, storylines, yung mga ganun po, no? Pinapagawa po natin sila ng comics, di ba? Timelines, ganyan, no? And it's a very good strategy to make students be more motivated and interested and enthusiastic in the lesson. Kahit na yung lesson mo ay mathematics, no? Mathematics ang lessons natin or any other topics na medyo they feel bored. We can make use of these strategies para ma-motivate sila. Okay, how do we create scenario-based learning? Ito medyo technical po tayo. So unang-una, we identify the learning outcomes. This is very important, no? Ano ba ang outcome? Ano ba ang learning outcome na gusto nating mapalabas for that particular lesson? So this is important because we need to have a direction. Kailangan may direction tayo when creating a situation. Hindi yung puros kwento-kwento lang, di ba? Magkukwento tayo. Minsan nga po yung ibang teachers, no? Yung ibang teachers just to pass the time para matapos yung oras nila, magkukwento sila ng kahit ano na. That is not a good practice, no? Kailangan yung story na ikukwento mo, okay, the story has to have a direction. It must have an outcome. Why are you telling that story? Why is this story being told? Because we want to bring out this particular learning outcome. Okay. So the situation must lead to a specific learning outcome. And so first, you have to identify the learning outcome for the scenario material. Pangalawa, we must decide on the format. We must know the format, no, of the material or the scenario-based material. So is the scenario going to be delivered in face-to-face? Face-to-face ba siya or online? No? Will it be a real? Will it be on-site or should it be a virtual scenario? So what are the media that we are going to use? What are the resources that will be used? Gagamit ba tayo ng photographs? Are we going to use audio? Are you going to use video? Are you going to use game materials? If you are using an online scenario, will there be supporting activities? Example, are you going to use wikis? Are you going to use other support sites? Are you going to use discussion forums? Will you be using chat? Will you be using video conferencing and others? Yan. So you have to decide on the format. Ano ba yung format niya? No? Then we choose a topic. So remember that non-routine tasks lend themselves to scenario-based learning. So we use critical incidents and challenging situations that have occurred in the subject area. So dito po pumapasok yung case study natin. So sometimes students would learn better by identifying yung mga nangyari na noon, no? Or when they explore situations that have happened before, and they can analyze what went wrong or what made the situation successful, mga ganun po, no? So we have to choose a topic. We have to use, yun nga, sabi dito, critical incidents. Situations that are challenging, situations that have issues that have occurred so that they can be highlighted and they can be explored. Yun po. Next, we identify the trigger event or situation. So this will be the starting point of the scenario. So when creating the scenario, we identify the decision points. What areas do we need feedback? In which areas do we need the reflection of the student? So we create the storyboard basing it on these areas or these decision points. So, yun, hanapin ho natin yung trigger. Asan ba ang trigger event? Saan ba sila mag-feedback? Saan ba sila magdidesisyon? Yun po. No? And then, peer review your scenario. So, dito pumapasok yung body system po natin, di ba? So, we ask our peers, we ask our colleagues to work through the scenario to make sure that the flow is the way we expect it. And then we achieve the outcomes that are intended. So, ask our colleagues to review. I-review mo nga ito. Meron bang mali dyan? Or maybe you can rehearse, no, with your colleagues. I-rehearse nyo yung storyline. I-rehearse nyo yung activity so that you will be able to see where there is a problem or where there is some sort of you will be able to see if the intention, yung learning outcome na intended niya is being achieved. Ganun po, no? So So yun po ang ating scenario. Ano to? Yun po yung ating creation of scenario-based learning. So, are there questions? Are there questions? Alam ko po maraming questions for this scenario-based learning.
Doc Mia, may comment si Ma'am Flor Delicia. Sabi niya, it's like the concept map daw that they do in science.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yung sa concept map po, actually we have another one, yung tinatawag nating mind map, no? Mind map. Ito po very effective sa ating research because our students have a hard time selecting their topics. Ano po? So we ask them to create a mind map. Yung bang, okay, ito yung topic natin, and then start brainstorming about the topic. Yun po yung mind map. And it's very effective. Ma'am Flor Delisa, may I ask po yung about your concept map? How do you apply it in science?
Actually po, yung for the topic, after the discussion, kung paano nila naintindihan yung lesson, so pinapagawa ko sila ng concept map, the relation, for example, sa body system, for the body parts, yung sa bawat organs po ng body system natin.
Yes.
So yun, tapos po yung relation noong body, noong organ na yun, doon po sa mga parts din na kasama within the body system. Yun
okay. Yes po. Anyone, any other questions po? Any other sharing po?
Doc Mia, would you say that the games now that are very popular with kids, say Minecraft, for example, which is very popular. Familiar ka doon, Doc Mia?
Yes, ma'am.
Minecraft. Do you think that they were designed with this in mind? Kasi parang it really highlights simulation, and then they can also, I'm not sure, but they can collaborate on building something. Parang ganito rin yung, do you think that this fits scenario-based learning as well?
Ang objective, the objective po of Minecraft is yun po, simulation, but I don't think it would be helpful po sa ating sa lessons din po. In fact, yung sa Minecraft, it does what do you call this? It does help in the decision making of the gamer, no po. Kaya lang in scenario based learning, I will not I am not going to I don't think it will help in our lessons, in our class. Hindi ko siya makakatulong, kumbaga. Pang-entertainment po
Yes.
siya.
Yes.
However, it could help in with skills like decision making, ganun po, yung sa hand and eye coordination, yung mga ganun po. Yes,
Mia,
Ma'am Flor Delisa.
Sige po, go ahead po, Ma'am Flor Delisa.
Yeah, opo. Nung diniscuss niyo po yung virtual environment, may nabanggit kayo tungkol sa gadget kasi ang naisip ko naman, hindi yung sa gadget na yon, yung mga VR, di ba? Yung,
Yes,
for example, sa EK, di ba, meron tayo na, sa Agila, parang ganon, na you can go places, kumbaga, namimit mo virtually yung mga birds, yung ganon, environment. Yung, di ba, nagagmagalaw din yung mga seats, yung mga chairs. And then, meron din tayo sa sineskwela yung, pupunta ka sa digestive system, and then ganon-ganon, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you consider that as virtual environment? Although ang mga bata is only watching the video, ganon.
Yes, ma'am, it is. It is a virtual environment po.
All right.
I will show you later po. May mga ipapakita ako na po pwede nating gamitin in our lessons po.
Okay,
Virtual
thank you po.
scenario-based learning.
Thank you po.
Thank you po, Ma'am Flor.
Maganda yung minention na example ni Ma'am Flor de Lisa kasi Doc Mia, di ba, before naalala ko yun nga yung generation ng araw with limited use of technology and available resources. Pag pinag-aaralan natin yung halimbawa skeletal system, drawing lang yung nakikita pero ngayon ano na
Yes,
high-tech
ma'am.
na eh.
Opo. Yun pong sa virtual reality. Ginagamit na po natin yung virtual reality to explore the body. Meron po tayong mga applications that would show us all the parts of, kunwari yung heart, no? Lahat po nung parts ng heart dun sa loob, no? It would explore the whole thing already. Any part of the body, yung sa brain, and then it will also show how it works, how blood is being pumped into the blood and into the heart, and how the heart would also pump it out. Ganun po. It will there are also stories, no? There are also stories where yung red blood cells, saan ba yung journey niya, ganyan, yung oxygen, ano ba yung journey niya. So there are a lot of applications, there are a lot of games din po, no, about yung sa sciences, pati sa math, and other subjects po. We have virtual environments for that.
Sabi po ni Ma'am
sabi,
Juanita.
Minecraft. Yes. Tama po. Sabi ni
Arts,
Ma'am
yes.
Juanita, it should be in moderation. Yung Minecraft po. Especially in digital arts. Yes. Po. Sa digital arts po, some media information literacy sa MIL, sa senior high school po, for those who are teaching high school, yun pong sa media information and literacy, we use a lot of this po. We use a lot of scenario-based learning, virtual scenario-based learning. We teach them how to create scenario-based learning. We teach them how to do storyboards. We teach them how to create games that are educational. Yun po yung pinapagawa natin sa mga high school. Imagine, high school pa po sila, tinuturuan na ho natin gumawa ng mga ganon. Yan po. So,
I think another advantage, Doc Mia, of scenario-based learning, you can go all out na high-tech, but you can also be old school. Like
yes.
yung binabanggit mo kanina ng mga stories that elicit critical thinking. Naalala ko yung story na The Lady or the Tiger. Do you remember that, Doc Mia? Yung to open the door. Which door will you
Yes.
open?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah,
Oo.
parang ganon. So you can go old school. Kung wala kang technology, it can be a story in the traditional sense of a story and make the learners think kung ano ba yung gagawin. Like, naisip ko kanina, binanggit kasi ni Ma'am Christine yung bakunawa. So, to explain the eclipse and so on. Pero ang dami pala, di ba, sa mga ano bang tawag din? Pabula, mga myths and legends na
yes.
local, folklore, you can use them
Yes.
to introduce or is in any subject. Pwede.
Yes, ma'am. Correct. We had an activity in Malaysia naman po, no? Ito yung meron ho kasing there's a show sa, I think we also have that in the Philippines, yung Running Man po. Meron ho ba dito? Yung Running Man. Yung Running Man po para siyang I forgot the TV shows na po. Pero it's like treasure hunt. It's like treasure hunt. Yung bang when they arrive, kasi po dun sa school, dun sa university, medyo maluwang po yung area. So we are able to create a game, and at the same time they also are able to learn. So we start dun sa loob, tapos pag unahan po yan, by team. So they go to one place, tapos they will have to solve a riddle that would ask them to go somewhere. Tapos doon po magso-solve sila ng problem, mga ganun po, no? Or they will do some task. Pag natapos nila yung task, saka sila bibigyan nung susunod na pupuntahan nila, yung ganun po. Basta meron pang isang movie,
Amazing Race daw po, sabi ni Ma'am Christine.
Parang
Yes.
Amazing Race, pero
Yeah.
doon po Running Man po ang tawag nila. It's the equivalent of Amazing Race. Yes, it's the equivalent of Amazing Race, but we do give them tasks that they should be doing, no? That they should be able to learn something. So pinagsama-sama na po namin doon. Merong history, meron pong mathematics, computer, ganyan. Gagawa pa po sila ng mga video and then isa-send nila. They will send it and they really enjoy it. And every semester they look forward to that activity po. So, yun. May Running Man Philippines pala.
Meron pala. Opo.
Sa GMA daw po yun.
Naisip ko yung sinasuggest mo, Doc Mia, yung example mo na yun. Ang gandang yung parang final multidisciplinary task ng mga kasi pwedeng palang pagsama-samahin. Tapos it also harnesses the multiple intelligences. So kung mahilig sila sa physical activity or more on cognitive sila, maano lahat. Yes.
Oo, ma'am. Yung pong we ask all the departments doon sa university to help us. Pupunta sila ng library, pupunta sila ng museum, pupunta sila ng depende po kung ano yung ginawang task nung mga teachers. And it really helps. They learn something. They do learn something.
Doc Mia, may question po si Ma'am Olivia. What are the best SBL used suitable for grade 1 daw?
Sa grade 1 po, marami po. Very interesting po pagka sa kindergarten, sa preschool, yan po very appropriate po sa kanila ang SBL. From preschool, grade 1, grade 2, ganun po, no? It doesn't have to be virtual po. Doesn't have to be virtual. Pero during the pandemic, a lot of our preschool, kindergarten, grade 1 teachers made use of SBL po para makuha nila yung attention ng mga bata. Yung pong sa on-site, no? Meron po tayong mga stories na pwede nating ibigay sa kanila, depende sa subject. Sa mathematics meron po, di ba? Marami pong mga kwento na po pwede nating gamitin, or pwede rin pong kanta, di ba? Gumawa tayo ng kanta para sila ay they would really join us, ganyan, and help them learn the concept. So SBL for our young learners, very appropriate po siya. Makakaisip po tayo ng mas maraming kwento, no? Mas maraming storylines to teach our young learners po.
Yes, Doc Mia, I remember one of the lessons when kindergarten students were still online. Nagkaroon sila ng parang scenario-based learning, yung what will you do if you're in the supermarket and you get the things that you need? So where will you get them? What are the things that you need? Tapos meron siyang pinapakita na parang actual video ng isang popular supermarket in the area. So, parang ganun yung ginagawa nila. And of course, meron din sila yung actual stories, traditional. If it's face-to-face, like I said kanina po, the teacher can go traditional storytelling, yung tungkol sa bullying. Kasi
Yes,
isang popular topic yun sa mga young learners. So, what are you going to do when you are faced with a bully? So, meron siyang kwento si teacher, tapos, sasabihin, if you were this, if you are the kid being bullied, what will you do? Parang gano'n.
yes,
It elicits a lot of interesting reactions among children. At the same time, yun nga po pinag-iisip sila, di ba? But
yes, ma'am.
yung nabanggit niyo po kanina, it's a safe environment. They don't have to really experience
Correct.
being bullied.
Yes, yes. One example I'll be showing you later on is yung sa space po. Sa space, merong story. The teacher will create their own story, pero nandun siya sa space. And so papakita niya yung moon, papakita niya yung mga ibang elements elements ba tawag doon, in the space, para maituro natin sa mga younger learners natin.
Ayan. Thank you,
Pati
Doc
sa
Mia.
math
Meron pa po
din
ba
po.
tayong question? Yes po. We'll see different, so si Doc Mia will give us examples for mathematics area and science area because that's her specialization. So mamaya po yun yung mga ipapakita niya.
Even with other topics din po, we have prepared some examples.
Ayan. Thank you po.
Sa MAPE, ganyan. Yung pong cooking. Ayan po. They will be able to cook virtually. Ayan. They will be able to cook virtually without, being in the kitchen talaga.
Masaklap
So,
naman
mas
yun, Doc
safe.
Mia. Hindi makaka-taste
Kaya lang
test.
din nila matitikman,
Oo.
syempre.
Virtual lang.
Ayun po. Yes, ma'am.
Ayan. Very exciting po yung gagawin natin mamaya.
Yes po.
Okay. Wala na po yatang question, advice, Doc Mia, para kung may naiisip na silang mga ideas for virtual scenarios sa kanilang mga subject areas.
Yun po yung sinasabi ko kanina. Actually, this concept is not new. Ginagamit na po natin. Kagaya nga po na sabi ni Ma'am Flor, nagamit na niya yung concept map. Yung mga those who are teaching research, for example, you are already using project-based SBL. For those who are in business naman, yung mga nagtuturo ng ABM dyan, you are already using case study. Pati sa social sciences, di po ba? We're doing case-based learning. And these are scenario-based learning po. All we need to do is to make sure na naka-streamline siya doon sa ating sistema. So kung ang sistema natin MELC, di ba? MELC yung streamline lang po natin 'yon, no? Tsaka maybe enhance and make sure that the effect of SBL is what it should be. Minsan po kasi yung SBL, some teachers would misunderstand na story based naman to, so magkukwento-kwento lang ako, okay na. Hindi po. So meron po siya talagang target. May target po tayo. We need to identify the outcome and try achieving. We have to achieve pala, hindi try, no? We have to achieve the outcome that we want from the lesson. So from the nakita ho natin, no, sabi nga ni Ma'am Olivia, no, ano ba ang appropriate for grade 1? So ang SBL po, it is not just for high school, for college. It is actually all levels, mula sa preschool up to maski po sa workplace, no? We do have workplace SBL na rin po. We have workplace SBL. In fact, SBL is being used, no, in the corporate world, in the workplace, to teach them uh, the job, no? Yung mga tasks na dapat nilang gawin. Ayun po. So, yun lang po. I'll see you later. Kasi
Thank you.
later po yung sa virtual
Yes.
naman. Scenario-based learning sa atin.
Ayan. Last, may pahabol po si Ma'am Ina Villanueva, yung Maria Clara at Ibarra na TV show daw. Siguro for history classes naman to. Rizal, tamang-tama
Yes.
po.
Opo. Oo nga, naririnig ko po yung Maria
very
Clara
popular
at
daw.
Ibarra.
Very popular. Maganda daw po
Yes
kasi yung
po.
ano niya story niya.
Yes.
Yung very faithful to the original version.
Okay. Ayun po. Yes,
Thank you, Doc
nakakatulong
Mia.
po yan. Yes, ma'am. Okay. I'll
Thank
see
you
you
po.
later po.
Thank you po. 1:30 po, magre-resume tayo with Doc Mia. Again, papakita niya sa atin yung specific examples ng mga virtual reality na available online na pwede po natin gamitin. Thank you, Doc Mia. We'll
Yes,
see you at
ma'am.
1:30.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, see you later.
See you po. Dear teachers, we now move on po sa ating asynchronous session to answer naman po our assessment for session 2. I hope po marami tayong nakuhang interesting ideas that we can apply for our own classes. So gaya po ng sinabi ni Doc Mia, yung virtual scenarios, applicable yan from early grades, early learners, even as young as preschool hanggang po yung mga nasa workplace. What comes to mind, for example, yung mga those who are applying or working in call centers, nagsisimulate din sila how to approach calls and so on. So talaga pong, even as professionals, yung virtual scenarios po, very applicable din siya talaga. So this afternoon, Doc Mia will present us with actual virtual scenarios to be used for different subject areas. So sana po you'll have a hearty lunch, pero come back po tayo ng 1:30 p.m. for our third session, still with Doc Mia. Thank you, dear teachers, for attending this morning session. We'll see you back at 1:30.